Hola clase. Today we're going to learn about el verbo tener, the verb to have. The verb to have. Escribe en tu cuaderno, write in your notebook, número, fecha, título, title. El verbo tener, to have. Okay. The verb to have is a very important verb that you need to know in Spanish. It's you're going to be using it a lot, just like the verb to be. So I want to go over the conjugation. And in order to do that, I am going to write down first the subject pronouns. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted. Right? And remember, this is like the singular side, right? So it will be to say I have, it will be yo tengo. To say you, singular, you say tú tienes. If you want to say he has or she has, or you, formal, have, say tiene, él tiene, ella tiene, usted tiene. All right? So remember that yo means I, tú means you, singular, informal, él, with an accent mark, means he, ella, she, usted is you, singular, formal. Okay. Then we move to the other side, right, of the conjugation of the verb, where we see that it's more plural. Remember that this is also first person, second person, and third person, right? And this moves along, right? This is singular and this is plural. So first person plural, it is tenemos. Nosotros tenemos. Okay? Second person, that will be vosotros, right? Second person, tenéis. And vosotros is you guys, informal, but it's plural. It's a group of people that we're familiar with. It's informal. Nosotros is we have. Nosotros tenemos, we have. Vosotros tenéis, you guys have. And then we have ellos, ellas, ustedes tienen. Ellos, ellas, ustedes. So ellos means they, masculine. Ellos tienen. Ellas, it's they, feminine. Ellas tienen, they, feminine, have. Ustedes tienen means you all formal have. Okay? So make sure that you know your subject pronouns and the conjugation of the verb. Okay, conjugation of the verb is this. Tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tenéis, tiene. Okay? This right here are your subject pronouns. All right, okay. So there are a few more things that you need to know when talking about the verb tener. One, that it is used to express age. Okay, and this you already know when you say how old you are. Someone asks you a question. ¿Cuántos? Okay. años tienes? Okay. ¿Cuántos años tienes? This is how many. This is years, and this is have. Notice right here that this ends in es, tienes. It is talking about you, second person. Every time you have a question in second person, in to form, you will answer in the first person. You will say, yo tengo 14 años. Okay? Yo tengo 14 años. You will not use the verb to be. Like in English, you say, I am 14 years old. You will say, I have 14 years. This is the way in Spanish, right? Okay. Let's say you see another question and say, ¿Cuántos años tienen? Tienen. Okay. Notice right here, it's tienen. It's either ellos, ellas, ustedes. Okay. This is in the third person singular. This is an ustedes form question. Sometimes you'll see ustedes at the end of the question, right here. So when you have an ustedes question, you will always answer in the nosotros form. You say nosotros tenemos 14 años. Okay? Always. This is like a rule. Okay? Bien. Also, the verb tener is used to express some conditions. Certain conditions. All right, and these are going to help you to express more ideas, especially when you're doing your diálogos. This is going to be great. Okay. Okay. So here we have the first one. Tener calor. Tener calor. When you're trying to express that you are feeling that the weather's really hot and extremely, you can feel it in your body. Tener calor, to be hot, as in it's super hot, the weather's super hot. You will use the verb tener calor. And how you're going to say that? Yo tengo calor. Tú tienes calor. Él tiene calor. Okay? Tener calor. Okay? Tener cuidado. Tener cuidado. To be careful. Tener éxito. To be successful. Tener frío. To be cold. You are feeling that the weather is really cold, so you are cold. You will use the verb tener. So right here I'm writing just the verb without making any changes, without any conjugation. But when you are using it in a sentence, you're going to have to conjugate it, as in if you're talking about you're talking about someone else. So you will have to make that change, right? Tener hambre. Tener hambre. To be hungry. Okay. Tener ganas. To be, not to be, to have desire. Tener interés. To be interested. Like I have interest, or I am interested in math. Yo tengo interés en las matemáticas. An example. Okay? Tener miedo. To be afraid. Tener sed. To be thirsty. Tener sueño. To be sleepy. I know this might be like a lot, but they're going to help you. So in the mornings, you could say, if I ask, ¿Cómo estás hoy? How are you doing today? You say, yo tengo sueño. You're sleepy. Okay. Tener prisa. To be in a hurry. Okay. And then we have just a few more. Tener razón. To be right, as in to be correct. Two more. No tener razón. No tener razón. To be wrong. Okay? And then tener vergüenza. To be embarrassed. All right, I want you to notice something. Let me go back to my notes over here. Notice that we use the verb tener in all of them, right? But most of these ones have the verb to be in English. See that? So this is where you guys can get a little confused, right? You tend to use the other verb, the verb I am, yo soy. No. Make sure that for some conditions, you're going to be using the verb tener. Okay? We're not using the verb to be. I said. No, we're using the verb tener. All right. Lastly, when you want to make, let's say, you want to say that you have 3 brothers, right? Yo tengo 3 hermanos. An example. Okay? You want to make the statement negative. The no will always, for any verb, but when you're making a statement negative, you will always put the no in front of the conjugated verb, conjugated version. So you will say, yo no tengo 3 hermanos. Okay, let's see. Let's use one of those statements I gave you. Tener frío. Yo tengo frío. Yo tengo frío. But let's say you don't. You're not cold. Yo no tengo frío. You see that? Okay, chicos. So, I was saying, right? If you are saying that you're cold, yo tengo frío. But let's say you're saying that you're not cold. You will say yo no tengo frío. All right. So, very important to remember. The statements want to use the conditions want to use the verb to have, tener. Use it with H when you're talking about H. And also very important, when you see a question in the second person, I think I'm going to give you one more. So let's do one more question over here to practice a little bit, okay? So for example, I ask a question like this. Tienes una casa grande. Okay. Tienes, if you go back to the conjugation I gave you, tienes, it is second person, right? Second person. And it belongs, this conjugation belongs to tú, right? Tú. So, it is a second person. And when the question is in second person, you will answer in first person. You will say, yo tengo una casa grande. Right? And if you don't, you will put the no right here, right? You will put the no right there. Okay. So let's say if I was saying, tienen una mascota. Notice how the pronoun gets omitted right here. So you don't have tú, it gets omitted. And right here, it's ustedes. It gets omitted. So this is third person, and it's ustedes on. Okay? So your answer, ¿tienen una mascota? When you have ustedes form question, you answer nosotros. Nosotros tenemos una mascota. So let's say you don't, you will say, or the you don't. You say, no, nosotros no tenemos una mascota. Always remember to put the no in front of the conjugated verb. That's very important. It doesn't go after, but it goes in front. Another important thing to remember is that, remember that tú means you, right? Don't forget the accent mark, because tú, without an accent mark, means your, possessive adjective, okay? Alright, but that's going to be in the next video. Okay, chicos. Adiós.